Welcome back to the Deep Dive, your personalized shortcut to, well, getting up to speed on fascinating topics.
Glad to be here.
Today we're plunging headfirst into a really timeless epic. We're zeroing in on a pivotal moment in our hero's, let's say, very long journey home. Get ready, because we're going to uncover some surprising details. Things about divine intervention, a truly extraordinary ancient culture, and, the subtle dance of hospitality, sometimes tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. And our mission today is really to distill the critical insights from these pages. We want you to walk away not just knowing what happened, but really understanding why these specific interactions matter so much for Odysseus's future.
Right.
You'll gain, I think, a unique lens into ancient customs and character that might just surprise you.
Okay, let's jump right in then. We left off with Nausicaa. She's just gotten back home after that pretty unexpected meeting with Odysseus on the beach. What's the scene like when she arrives?
Well, it's immediately clear she's from, an important family. The text says her brothers, who are described almost like gods, men like immortal gods, they greet her right there in the forecourt.
Okay.
And inside, her old chamber attendant, Medusa, who we learn is an enslaved woman from a pier, she's busy getting supper ready. It gives you this little snapshot of a busy, prosperous household.
Right, a glimpse of normalcy before things get stranger. But the real story for us is what happens next with Odysseus himself. He's still this shipwrecked stranger. How does he even approach the city?
Well, what's fascinating here is the immediate, almost you could say whimsical divine protection he gets from Athena.
Right, his patron goddess.
Exactly. She, with kind thought for him, drifts this deep mist all around him. And this is crucial.
Why the mist?
It's specifically to stop any of the Phaeacians from, and the text uses the word sneering or, questioning him. Yeah. Which tells you something about the Phaeacians right off the bat, doesn't it?
Yeah, it suggests they might not be the most welcoming bunch to outsiders.
Precisely. A bit insular. And then Athene actually meets him, disguised, as a young girl carrying a pitcher, like a local maiden. And she gives him some very specific advice.
Okay, what'd she tell him?
She gives him direct instructions. Remain completely silent. Don't engage with anyone. Just follow her.
Why so secretive?
Because, as she puts it, the Phaeacians do not have very much patience with men from the outlands, and they certainly don't lovingly entertain the man come from elsewhere. Their pride is mentioned, too. They're very confident in the speed of their running ships, which are supposedly a gift from Poseidon himself.
Ah, Poseidon, Odysseus' nemesis.
The very same. And these ships apparently move swift as thought or as a winged creature. This unique God-given skill is what makes them so powerful, but maybe also, so isolated and wary.
So Athene literally leads the way, hidden in plain sight, and Odysseus just walks right through their city, completely invisible in this mist. Talk about a grand entrance, or, well, a non-entrance, I guess.
Exactly. Very stealthy arrival.
He must have been amazed when the mist finally clears and he sees the palace. What really stands out about its appearance?
Oh, it's breathtaking. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this description of King Alkino's palace, it isn't just, fancy decoration. It speaks volumes about Phaeacian prosperity and their truly unparalleled divine favor.
So it's more than just wealth.
Much more. Odysseus is just awestruck. He's admiring the city's harbors, the meeting places, the long, lofty walls, but the palace itself, it has a glory like the sun or from the moon.
Wow.
And the details just get more incredible. Brazen walls, that's bronze with a cobalt frieze, doors made of gold, pillars, and the lintel of silver, even a golden handle.
Okay, that's seriously opulent. And the dogs. I remember the dogs.
Yes, the guardians. They're dogs made out of gold and silver. And not just that, they were fashioned by Hephaestus, the god of craft himself.
The master.
Right. And they're immortal and ageless. Beyond just the sheer luxury, what these details, like immortal gold and silver dogs, really emphasize is this incredible divine favor the Phaeacians have. They are literally blessed by the gods in a way almost no other mortals are. It's key to understanding their sort of insulated nature.
Okay, I see.
And inside, golden statues of youths holding torches, 50 serving women who are super skilled in weaving, gifted with wisdom bestowed by Athene.
It sounds like a divinely blessed tech hub for ancient crafts or something.
That's a great way to put it. And the garden outside is just as fantastical. A great orchard, 4 land measures with, every kind of fruit tree you can imagine.
Yep.
Pears, pomegranates, apples, figs, olives. But the truly astonishing detail is the perpetual harvest.
Perpetual.
Yeah. The text says, never is the fruit spoiled on these, never does it give out, neither in wintertime nor summer. Apparently, thanks to the west wind, it's always blowing gently. Pear matures on pear, apple upon apple, grape cluster on grape cluster, fig upon fig.
It's impossible like Eden.
Exactly. It's not just a beautiful garden, it's a literal, unending paradise.
Right.
A sign of this unmatched divine blessing. There's also a vineyard, vegetable plots, even 2 springs, one for the garden, one for the townspeople.
This place sounds incredible, yes, but almost too perfect. Too detached, maybe?
Yeah.
Does this sort of alien perfection suggest anything about how they see the messier world Odysseus comes from?
That's a really sharp observation about their detachment. It does feel a bit otherworldly. And this palace isn't just about lavish wealth, like you said. It's also home to a fascinating queen.
Ah, yes, Arete.
Queen Eurydice, absolutely critical. Athene had stressed her importance to Odysseus, and for very good reason. Her lineage alone is notable. She's descended from Poseidon.
Poseidon again?
And Paraboia, who was the daughter of Eurymedon, king of the giants. So powerful, slightly monstrous ancestry there. She actually married her uncle, Alcinous, after her father died.
Okay.
But she's given this unparalleled pride of place. She commands immense respect from her family and the people. They look to her as to a god. Our source really emphasizes her good intelligence and her unique ability to dissolve quarrels, even among men. She's not just royalty. She's seen as this wise, peacemaking force.
And Athena specifically told Odysseus that winning her favor was the key to getting home. So what happens when he finally steps into this incredible, almost mythical house, still hidden by that mist?
Well, he times it perfectly. He finds the Phaeacian leaders pouring a libation, a drink offering, to Argiophontes.
Who's that?
That's Hermes, the messenger god, which is a nice touch, isn't it? They're honoring divine communication right before Odysseus himself reveals his plea.
Okay.
Still wrapped in the mist, Odysseus goes straight for Arete and Alcinous. And then he does the traditional thing for a suppliant. He clasps Arete's knees.
Arete's knees, specifically, not the king's.
Yes, following Athene's advice. And it's at that precise moment that Athene makes the mist dissolve. Poof, there he is, revealed.
Imagine that. The whole hall must have just frozen.
Complete silence and wonder, the text says. He goes from being invisible to being the absolute center of attention in an instant.
So what's his first move? What does he say?
His first words are a formal plea, and it's directed straight to Arete. After much hardship, she says, I have come to your knees as a suppliant. He asks only for conveyance to my country. That's it.
Simple and direct.
Very. And then, in this deeply humble gesture, he goes and sits beside the hearth in the ashes.
In the ashes, like the lowest possible place.
Exactly. It's a powerful visual statement of desperation and humility, shows he's placing himself entirely at their mercy.
And everyone's just silent, staring, clearly unsure how to react. But then someone speaks up.
Yes, thankfully. An elder steps forward. Alcinous. He's described as the most advanced in age of all the Phaeacians, and crucially, superior in wisdom.
Okay, the wise old counselor figure.
Precisely. And he speaks with kind intention. He points out that it's not fitting, it's just not right for a stranger, a guest, to be sitting on the ground beside the hearth in the ashes.
He's invoking the rules of hospitality.
Exactly. He immediately instructs Alcinous, the king, to raise Odysseus up, seat him properly on a silver-studded chair, and tells the heralds to mix more wine for another libation. This one specifically to Zeus, who delights in the thunder, and he goes together with suppliants whose rights are sacred.
So honoring the god who specifically protects people in Odysseus's position?
Right. Protocol is everything here. Epineos even tells the housekeeper, go give the stranger supper. It's the epitome of proper ancient hospitality, guided by wisdom and tradition.
And Alcinous listens.
Immediately. He follows the protocol perfectly. He even displaces his own favorite son, Laodamas, from his chair to give it to Odysseus.
Wow, that's a significant gesture.
It really is. The hospitality kicks in and it's immediate and grand. Odysseus gets water for washing, polished table, bread, generous provisions, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so they've accepted him, at least for now. Alcinous then makes a speech.
He does. After ensuring the proper libations are made to Zeus, the protector of suppliants, he addresses his people publicly. His speech outlines their plan and, interestingly, reveals more about their unique relationship with the gods.
What's the plan?
Alcinous promises to call more elders together tomorrow. They'll entertain the guests properly, make sacrifices to the gods, and then arrange his transport home. The ultimate promise is conveyance to his own country in happiness and speed, even though it lies very far off.
They seem incredibly confident they can actually do that, get him home quickly.
Oh, they are. They boast about it. Their ships are unparalleled, Alcinous says. They're so fast they could reach Euboea, which he describes as the farthest away of all places people know, and be back on the very same day.
1 day round trip to the edge of the known world. Okay, that's fast.
It's practically teleportation. And then Alcinous says something really interesting. He muses aloud, wondering if Odysseus might actually be an immortal god in disguise.
Why would he think that?
Because, he says, gods usually show themselves clearly when they visit the Phaeacians. Apparently the Phaeacians are very close to them, just like the Cyclopes and the savage tribes of the giants are.
Huh. That's quite a claim, comparing themselves to Cyclops and giants, but also emphasizing closeness to the gods. It really underscores their unique, almost liminal status, doesn't it?
Exactly. They occupy this strange, blessed, slightly non-human space.
So how does Odysseus react to being potentially mistaken for a god? I mean, after everything he's been through, does he play along?
Not for a second. Odysseus immediately shuts that down. Forget immortal, he basically says. I'm not like the immortals in any way, but only like men who are mortal.
He grounds himself firmly in humanity.
Very firmly. He says essentially, think of the man you know who bears the greatest burden of misery. I'm like him, maybe worse. He says he could tell of still more troubles that are all mine.
He doesn't hold back on the suffering.
No. And then he delivers this incredibly raw, almost brutally honest bit about hunger.
Ah, yes, the shameless belly.
That's the one. He calls the belly shameless, says there's no other thing so shameless because it forces him to think about eating, even when he's worn out and grieving. It makes him forget all his suffering just to satisfy this basic, undeniable need.
It's such a humanizing moment, isn't it? Even this great hero is driven by hunger. It's almost comedic in its intensity.
It really is. It's a powerful reminder of his profound humanity, despite all the epic stuff, and he ends his speech by expressing that deep longing for home. Let life leave me, he says, when I have once more seen my property, my serving people, and my great high-roofed house.
Powerful stuff. So everyone approves of this. The plans are set for tomorrow. The feast winds down, and Odysseus is left alone with Alcinous and Arete. This feels like a crucial moment.
It is a more private conversation.
And it's here, in this quieter setting, that Arete, the shark queen, she notices something, right? Something about his clothes.
Yes. This is a fantastic aha moment in the story. Arete, remember, she's the skilled weaver, probably oversaw all the palace weaving. She recognizes the splendid clothes which she herself had made with her serving women, the very clothes Nausicaa gave him.
She made them herself. Wow. So she puts 2 and 2 together.
Instantly. Her question is pointed, direct, no beating around the bush. Stranger, she asks, who are you? Where are you from? And who gave you this clothing? Didn't you say you came here ranging over the water? She knows something's up. She caught him.
Busted. So Odysseus put on the spot like that. What does he do?
He launches into this incredible condensed overview of his recent hardships. It's almost like he's giving his resume of suffering, but very strategically.
How so?
Well, his summary of recent events is like a mini epic itself. He starts with Calypso's island, Ogygia, way out, far off. Explains he was alone because Zeus blasted his ship with lightning, killed all his companions.
Setting the stage. Lone survivor, divine wrath.
Exactly. He drifted for 9 days, just clinging to the keel of his ship, landing on Ogygia on the 10th day. There, Calypso, this dread goddess, took him in. He says she loves me excessively and cared for me, and incredibly, she promised to make me an immortal and all my days to be ageless.
The ultimate offer. Immortality.
An ultimate offer. But despite this, Odysseus makes it crystal clear. He stayed 7 years. Forever was drenching with tears that clothing, immortal stuff Calypso had given. He couldn't be won over. His desire for home was stronger.
7 years resisting immortality from a goddess who loved him. That's some serious dedication to getting home. Or maybe serious homesickness.
Unwavering dedication, absolutely. He tells him that finally, in the 8th year, Calypso let him go. Whether it was a message from Zeus or her own change of heart, he isn't sure. She helped him build a raft, gave him provisions, more of that immortal clothing, and sent him off with a warm and easy wind.
So smooth sailing from there.
Not quite. He sailed for 17 days, fine. But on the 18th, just as he spotted the Phaeacian mountains, disaster.
Poseidon again.
You guessed it. Unlucky break. Poseidon stirred up a massive storm, smashed his raft to pieces. He had to swim for his life until the wind and waves drove him towards their shore. But he couldn't land. It was all rough wave and tall rocks.
Couldn't catch a break.
Nope. He swam along the coast until he found a river mouth, which was bare of rocks and sheltered from the wind. He finally dragged himself ashore, totally exhausted, found cover in some bushes, piled leaves over himself, and then, as he puts it, the god drifted in infinite sleep about me.
Passed out cold.
For a day and a half, apparently, until sweet sleep released me.
And then, Nausicaa.
And then the crucial part of the story connecting to the close. He describes encountering Nausicaa and her maids playing by the river. He explains how he approached her as a suppliant. And he gives her real credit here. He says she did not fail of the right decision, showing wisdom beyond her years, unlike typical careless young people.
High praise.
Very. He says she gave him food, wine, let him bathe in the river, and then gave him the very clothing Arete just recognized. He finishes his story by saying, "Sorrowful as I am, all this is true I have told you."
It's a compelling story, but what's striking, as you mentioned, is what he leaves out.
Exactly. He gives Nausicaa credit for her wisdom and kindness, but he completely omits the part where she specifically told him not to arrive with her, to come to the palace later alone to avoid gossip.
Ah, so he's protecting her reputation. Very clever.
Very strategic. It makes his story fit perfectly with Arete's observation, explains the close, but keeps Nausicaa out of any potential trouble for maybe slightly unconventional behavior.
That is fascinating. Okay, so the story confirms Nausicaa's key role, makes Odysseus look suitably wretched and heroic. But King Alcinous, hearing all this, he seems to pick up on something slightly different regarding his daughter's actions, doesn't he?
He does, momentarily. Alcinous initially faults Nausicaa, just slightly. He says to Odysseus, "My friend, here is one proper thought that my daughter was not aware of." Basically saying she slipped up by not bringing Odysseus directly to the house herself, along with her attendants.
Why would that be wrong?
Because, Alcinous implies, it was she to whom you first came as a suppliant. The cultural expectation, it seems, was that the person who first receives a suppliant should be the one to escort them fully into the host's protection, i.e. into the palace.
Ah, okay. A subtle point of etiquette. But Odysseus jumps in to defend her.
Immediately. And his reasoning is, again, incredibly insightful about human nature and maybe shows his own cunning, too.
What does he say?
Odysseus claims it was his decision not to follow her directly. He says he felt embarrassment and dread, specifically for fear that something in this might stir your spirit to anger seeing us.
Meaning, seeing a strange man arriving with his young daughter.
Precisely. And then he delivers this brilliant line, "For we who are people upon this earth are jealous in judgment." He's basically saying, look, I know how people think. I know how appearances can be misconstrued. I didn't want to cause you any potential awkwardness or suspicion by showing up with Nausicaa.
Wow. That completely deflects the blame from Nausicaa and makes him look considerate and socially aware. Smooth.
It's incredibly smooth. It handles Alcinous' minor criticism perfectly, flattering him by suggesting Odysseus was thinking of the king's own feelings and reputation.
And Alcinous buys it?
Completely.
Yeah.
He accepts the explanation readily. He says his inward heart is not of such a kind as to be recklessly angry, and states that he values moderation above all. It shows his own wisdom, perhaps.
Okay.
And then, perhaps moved by Odysseus' story, his apparent wisdom, or maybe just swept up in the moment of grand hospitality, Alcinous does something astonishing. He makes an incredible offer.
What is it?
He reveals his inward heart further, saying, "Oh, Father Zeus, Athena and Apollo, how I wish that." You can almost hear the wish forming, that a man like you, thinking as I do, you could have my daughter and be called my son-in-law, staying here with me.
A marriage proposal. Just like that.
Just like that. A direct offer. Marry Nausicaa. Stay here. Become a son-in-law. He even adds, I would dower you with a house and properties if you stayed by your own goodwill.
Whoa. Talk about rolling out the welcome mat. From stranger in the ashes to potential son-in-law in, what, an hour?
It's stunning, isn't it? But he immediately follows it up by reaffirming the original promise, just in case. But if you don't want to stay, he says, no Phaeacian shall detain you. The choice is still Odysseus's.
Okay, good.
And then he can't resist boasting about the ships again, mentioning that Euboea trip they could do in a single day. It's an incredible mix of overwhelming generosity, maybe a bit of impulsiveness, but ultimately leaving the decision to Odysseus.
How does Odysseus react to that? Marry the princess and settle down in paradise.
Well, he doesn't say yes or no directly to the marriage. He responds with gratitude and diplomacy. He offers up a prayer. Father Zeus, grant that Alcinous may accomplish all that he promises. And then crucially adds, and grant that I myself may reach my native land.
So thanks, but no thanks on the marriage, essentially. He wants to go home.
That's the clear implication. He prays for Alcinous' glory to be unquenched, but his own deepest desire remains unchanged.
And Arete, what's her role at the end here?
Arete, ever the practical and thoughtful queen, steps in to ensure the guest is comfortable. She tells her serving women to make up a proper bed for Odysseus, not just anywhere, but out in the echoing portico, with fine linens, blankets, rugs, proper guest quarters.
Bringing things back down to earth a bit after the grand proposals. Okay, what a journey just through this one part of the arrival. From that divine mist and a hero hiding in the ashes
Right.
to a palace made of literal gold and silver, and then this absolutely astonishing offer of marriage. It really is a masterclass in, well, hospitality, divine meddling, and the power of a well-told story.
Absolutely. We've seen how divine intervention can just, shape human destiny in really unexpected ways. We saw how a queen's wisdom can potentially dissolve quarrels or at least correct inconsistencies.
Hmm.
And we've seen how even a great hero like Odysseus understands those subtle nuances of human judgment, how appearances matter, and maybe most powerfully, how he's still driven by those fundamental, utterly relatable human needs: hunger, exhaustion, and that profound, aching longing for home.
So, thinking about this deep dive, what really stands out to you, perhaps for our listeners to consider? Maybe thinking about hospitality and these hidden identities. How much of Odysseus' success here is actually his own making? His quick wit, his strategic omissions, his careful words, versus how much is just him being guided or maybe manipulated by forces beyond his control, both the gods, like Athene, and these incredibly powerful, perhaps slightly naive humans like the Phaeacians.
That's a fantastic question to ponder. Where does Odysseus' agency truly lie in this intricate dance with gods and mortals? Something definitely to think about.